Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Maura, and I'm a physical therapist and certified yoga teacher. Today I'll be sharing a practice for after long travel. Whether it's a long haul flight or several hours in a car, this practice focuses on opening up the front of the body and engaging the muscles in the back of the body to counteract prolonged sitting during your travels. This is a gentle practice, so if you're tired and jet lagged but you'd like to move your body just a little, this might be a good practice for you. Props are not required, but you're welcome to use anything that you have available to you. If you're not at home and you don't have a yoga mat, no worries. If you're on carpet, maybe you just want to grab a towel from the bathroom and join us for the practice. As always, please make sure that it is safe for you to be practicing yoga and that you're always listening to your body. So to get started for our practice today, let's find a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, maybe cross-legged or one shin in front of the other. And just start to do some shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Just getting a little bit of movement into the shoulders and neck. And then reverse your direction. Come to stillness, and we'll just take some neck circles, drawing small circles with your nose, going only as far as feels comfortable. You might be noticing any crinks in your neck, especially if you had fallen asleep without a travel pillow. It's never comfortable when you're trying to grab some sleep on a plane. And reverse your direction any way that feels good. We'll do one more. And then sit up nice and tall in your easy seat and take your right arm out to the side, walk it out as far as you can go comfortably, and then inhale the opposite arm up and over, grounding that opposite hip and reaching through the side of the body, getting a nice stretch here. Continue breathing, taking nice deep breaths, and moving slowly and gently throughout this practice. And then inhale your way back up through center. And we'll bring that stretch over to the other side, crawling your left fingertips out and reaching the right arm up and over, grounding through that opposite hip, really stretching through the side body. And you can look up if that feels comfortable for you, or you can look down. Really lots of options for you here. Deep inhale back up to center, and we'll make our way to tabletop, hands and knees. If you'd like to take an extra towel and put it underneath your knees, if your carpet isn't very plush, that's an option for sensitive knees. So bringing the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips, we'll take an inhale and arch the spine, bring the shoulder blades close together, and just gaze a few feet in front of your mat, lifting that gaze. Mat or your towel. If you don't have a mat, no problem. And then exhale, round the spine. Press the earth away. Feel the shoulder blades slide away from each other on the back. So let's go through a few rounds of this, maybe 4 or 5 at your own pace. Just trying to match your breathing to your breath. Take one more wherever you are. And then come back to a neutral tabletop. And we'll take thread the needle, reaching the right arm up, twisting toward the wall, And then wrap that hand under and through, maybe bringing the head down if that's comfortable for you. Bring your hand back by your cheek, press up, and then just re-extend that arm, getting some full rotation, range of motion, and place the hand back down on the mat. Coming in to thread the needle on the left side, reach that left arm up, and then thread it through, twisting to the opposite side, and taking that other arm wherever feels comfortable. Press through your right side. Re-extend that arm, reaching up high, rotating, and then bring your hand back down to the mat. From here, you're going to walk the palms out, maybe a foot or two away from you, and then bring the head and chest down for puppy pose. Trying to stretch through the chest, melting the front of the body down toward the mat. Slowly make your way back up, crawl your way back through tabletop, and we're going to come into a low lunge, stretching out the hip flexors, which can get really tight or feel tight when you've been sitting for quite a while. So take your right leg and bring it out in front. This is sort of a low lunge variation. And then we're gonna tuck the hips under a little bit just to feel some stretching through that left hip. If you'd like to take it further, reach the hands overhead and maybe take a hold of that left wrist and side bend towards the right. Keep breathing here. Release that hand if you took that option. Bring your hands down to the mat and then swing that right leg around, and we'll set up for the opposite side. So this time bringing the left foot forward, knee stacked over ankle, and then rolling the hips under to stretch through that right hip flexor. Now you may be feeling a little bit of stretch here. If you'd like to take it further, inhale the arms up, grab a hold of that right wrist and side bend over to the left just a little bit. Release your hands if you had that option. And plant your hands and swing that left leg around. And we're going to move the hands a little bit further than we had in tabletop. Tuck the toes and come up to a downward facing dog. And just pedal your feet out here. Release the head. Try and get a nice lengthening stretch through the lower back and the calves. Look forward and take a few little steps to get to the top of your mat. Now once you're here, take a moment in forward fold, bend the knees a little bit and let the head relax. Bend the knees, press into the heels, Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, arms overhead. And palms together, just bring them down to your heart center. And from here, let's take a sun salutation variation. Inhaling the arms overhead, maybe getting a little back bend here if that feels okay. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Neck is long, looking down at your mat. And exhale, palms to the mat. Step it back to plank or tabletop. Lower your knees down and then lower your body down to the mat. Inhale, baby back bend here, just creating length in the spine, and just press as high as you feel comfortable going. Exhale, tuck the toes. Lift up and back and press back into your downward facing dog, taking 3 deep breaths here. Look forward, step to the top of your mat. Press into your heels, bend the knees, and roll back up to mountain. Maybe taking an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead again, and exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take a warrior sequence here, bringing the right foot forward and stepping the left foot back, turning the toes open about halfway. If you'd like to square your hips to the front of the mat, if that feels comfortable, go ahead and do that. And try to keep the knee over the ankle, stacking your joints. Reach your arms overhead, or if you'd like to come to cactus arms and squeeze the upper body, squeeze the shoulder blades together, you can do that here. Bring your hands down from wherever you are, and we're coming into warrior 2, turning that foot a little bit more open and facing the long edge of, if you have a mat, your mat. You might need to widen your stance here a little bit. It depends on what's comfortable for you, but try to keep that knee stacked over the ankle here to protect the joint. Taking up some space here, something we couldn't do when we were traveling or cramped on a plane or a car. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lift that front arm up and get a nice stretch along the side of the front of the body here. Exhale, elbow to knee, or any variation you'd like to take of extended side angle, reaching and pressing through that pinky and that back heel. Press into the front heel, inhale up through warrior 2. And now we're going to come down to the mat, bringing the hands down, turn that back toe so that both feet are facing forward, and step back to downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Walk back up to the top of your mat. Press into the feet and roll up slowly. Sweeping the arms overhead. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll take that sequence on the other side. So leaving your left foot at the front of the mat this time, step your right foot back and turn the toes out, maybe squaring the hips to the front if that feels okay. Front knee is stacked over the ankle, and taking any variation with your arms here, maybe reaching up, or maybe this time clasping the hands behind the back just to open up the chest a little bit more. Release your hands, turning the back toes out, opening that leg up a little bit more, and adjusting your stance if you need. Coming into Warrior Two, bring that front knee over the ankle, reaching forward and back. Inhale, sweeping that front arm up, reverse warrior. Exhale, elbow to leg, elbow to thigh, or any variation of extended side angle here. Press into the heel, push back up through Warrior Two. And then exhale the hands down to the mat. Don't forget to spin that back foot, plant the hands, and then step back, downward facing dog. And if you'd like to turn this into a child's pose instead, just go ahead and come down into that pose. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. Wherever you are, come into tabletop. And from here, we're going to come into pigeon, which is a hip opening pose. Now, if pigeon is not for you today, you can always take the option of reclined figure 4 or any other hip opening pose that you like to do here. But if you're taking pigeon, bring that right knee behind the right wrist and just let the knee bend wherever it wants to go. And then walk that back leg back. If there's a lot of space in between the hips and the floor, just grab anything like a pillow or a blanket that you can use to stack up and support that space there so that you can fully relax. Come down to the forearms if you'd like. We'll take 5 deep breaths on this side. Slowly come back up to your hands, unwinding whatever variation of hip opener that you've taken. Tuck the back toes and press up and back, maybe coming through downward facing dog and giving yourself a few pedals. That right hip might feel a little different than the left. And then when you're ready, we'll come into the other side, placing the left knee behind the left wrist and then walking that back leg back. One side may feel different than the other, using anything you have available to support the hips so that you can fully relax. 5 deep breaths here. Start to walk your way back up, starting to unwind. Tuck the back toes and press back into one more downward facing dog. And then we'll make our way down to our bellies to do some extension work, which is something we don't really get when we're sitting for long periods of time. So before we do that, we can go into a quad stretch. So just place one forearm in front of you so that you can rest your head. We'll start with the left, reaching back to grab the foot. If you can't reach the foot, you can always grab a hold of your sock or use a belt or a strap to grab a hold of the foot so that you can fully relax the leg. And just pull it in towards your glutes. I'm trying to keep the hips down on the mat. Release. Straighten that leg, switch arms so that you can rest your forehead down again. And reach for the right foot. And pull it in towards your hips. And pressing the pelvis down into the mat. There shouldn't be any pain in the low back here. If there is, you might need to back off a bit. Release your hold of the foot and then come up into Sphinx on your forearms. This is a gentle back bend. You're welcome to just stay lying down on your stomach if that's as much as your back wants to bend today. And we'll go through a few progressions of back bends, and you're welcome to stick with any of the progressions along the way. We don't want to cause any pain, just want to open up the spine and give the intervertebral discs a little bit of space. Release back down to your mat. Take a second here. And for the second round, you can stay with Sphinx, or you can place your hands under your shoulders and come up a bit higher for Cobra, using some back strength and some arm strength here. Exhale, release. And for the last round, stay with either of those options or use more back strength coming into locust. So place your hands either next to you or behind you, behind your low back if that feels good. And then take an inhale and raise the shoulders off the mat, looking down at your mat. If you'd like to lift the feet just a little bit, you can, but don't cause any pain in that lower back, just activating the back of the body. And release. And from here, just turn over onto your back. And coming into a nice gentle spinal twist here. Bringing your arms out to an A or a T. Keep the knees together and then drop them over toward the right. Only going as far as your body wants to let you, and keep taking deep breaths here. Inhale the knees back up one at a time, slowly, maybe shifting your weight a little bit as you let them drop to the opposite side. Gently inhale back up. Spread your body out, coming into Shavasana. Just take a few breaths here, just a few minutes to notice how your body feels. Release any areas that feel like they're holding tension. Inhale the arms overhead. Reach your hands and feet as far away as you can, as if you're being pulled in two opposite directions, creating all the space and length in your body. Release the hands down and gently make your way back to an easy seat. We'll take one last deep breath to close this practice today, inhaling the arms overhead and exhale, palms to the mat. Thank you so much for joining me for this yoga practice to target areas that get stiff with long travel. I hope you're feeling just a little bit better after this practice. If you'd like to continue or try some other gentle practices, I'll be linking a playlist up in this corner that you can check out. Definitely subscribe and return to this practice whenever you need so that we can practice together again. Safe travels, and I'll see you next time.